Good day. Good day, dear friends. Good day. Good day. Let's focus on some good things that are happening. And by the way, let me stop right there. I don't focus on good things that are happening so that I feel good. I'm focusing on things that are actually improving our direction and that we should continue to improve, if that makes any sense. I am looking to improve upon our direction. In the event you've just tuned in the event you've never heard me before, even the event you have literally no idea as to what this is about, who I am, what we're doing here, let me remind you, little articles of faith. Number one is I wolf down coffee. I am not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I don't have a name for what I am. Names constrict, names direct, names focus. Names cause you to constantly repeat and constantly keep within the lanes of that way of thinking. I'm not Fox News or CNN. I'm not anything. I'm not Trump. I'm not CPAC or Turning Point or any. It doesn't matter. This is what I want, and you have all these people around me who might want the same thing. I don't know. I only am focused on those people who can help me get what I think is best for this country. You must understand that. You must grasp that notion. You must. I don't care about stars. I don't care about Megyn Kelly. I don't care about Tucker Carlson. I don't care about any of these people. It doesn't matter to me. They're not famous. I've known famous people. Let me also tell you something. Let me give you a little bit of advice on this. Never meet your heroes. Never meet anybody, whether it's from music or acting. Never do it. You will be so profoundly disappointed. It will shock you to no end. I'm serious. So I'm not into that. That's not my thing. It's not my beat. I don't care about that. I don't care about any of that. What I want to do is I want to win. And I want to see my country back on a... I guess I want to see my country back on a... back in a way, back on some form of I don't know what the word is, some direction that we're doing. Now, up till now, I've been looking and I've been saying, this isn't it, this isn't it, this isn't it, that's not it. I have been seeing nothing but problems after problems after problems associated with people not necessarily acting cohesive. A couple of things are good. Number one, Marjorie Taylor Greene is finally getting it together, recognizing the fact that in order for her to win, we need, I'm going to say we, because I have identified with the Republican Party in trying to quash this Democratic juggernaut. You understand this? There were a lot of people who weren't too crazy about teaming up with Stalin during World War II, but that's the way that went. That's the way it goes. Do you understand it? Good. Very important. Very critical. That's the only thing. That's the only. If there was some other party that was there, great. If there's other way, I don't care. If the Green Party did, I don't care. Remember, parties mean nothing. But for the first time, I'm seeing something very interesting. I'm seeing there's a moment of lucidity and a moment of adult behavior on the part of the Republican Party. Marjorie Taylor Greene has a tremendous potential if she stops being Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know what happens to her and this Lauren Boebert and this extremely skeevy, very dangerous Matt Gaetz over here. He says some very smart things, which is great. Because somebody said something that's a smart move, I'm looking, who are the people who are going to target my beloved targeted demographic. And that is, of course, and this is important for you to realize, important for you to recognize, the average undecided voter. Let me say this again. The average undecided voter is critical. Critical. I can't say it enough. I can't put it into words enough. And we're starting to see that maybe. There is still a group of people, and I've seen this before. Let me back up a little bit. This past week, we had these cavalcades, these road shows of these Republican wannabes from Nikki Haley, Mike Pence, in that disastrous, whatever that was with Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is not a politician. Tucker Carlson is an entertainer. He's a commentator. He is what Bill Buckley used to be. He's not the Republican Party. He's not a star. He's not somebody I want to know or anything like that. But he does say some things which are very, very critical. And if he can get somebody to focus on what's happening, good for him. There is a sobriety. I'm not suggesting anybody's a drunk, but there is an adult sobriety that I'm seeing here more and more, which is so critical. I'm starting to see this. And I'm seeing these people starting to redefine and recalibrate the issues that are critical to all of us. I promise you, we are under attack by so many people who are trying to change the subject, who are always throwing low-hanging fruit at you. I want you to spend 5 minutes tops. I want you to scan Drudge headlines. Scan CNN, scan MSNBC, scan Politico, and any of the other soon-to-be shuttered little groups. Why? This will give you an idea of what their focus is. It will tell you where they're worried. It will give you a notion of the particular lies that they're trying to maintain. It's important. It's critical that you understand this. You must do this. You cannot ever say, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not interested in this. We are under attack, not by the Democratic Party, but by culture, entertainment, Hollywood, news, music, and groups of people representing factions and ideations and groups that are without any, without any identifiable name. And like the great, it's true, the great Breitbart quote is that politics is downstream from entertainment. You have to be an astute student. I want you to, when you go to a foreign country sometimes, and you're sitting at a cafe or a bistro or whatever the hell you want, and you're just looking, you're kind of taking it all in. You know how you notice, I notice some trends. I notice the way they wear. I notice the way they talk. I notice the way I'm looking at their headlines. I notice that's what you should do about your own country. Kind of a detached observance. You're a scholar. You're looking at what's happening. You can't get into this thing about just reacting to everything. Oh, he's terrible. That's childish. They want you to do this. They just want you to react to stuff. We don't do this. Winners don't do this. We're not interested in this. There is something which is so positive, and that is there is a tremendous sense of commitment and a tremendous sense of energy and excitement, and I think cohesion on the part of what you would call the Republicans. However, and this is critical, I don't know if this necessarily is going to make it onto the hustings, as it were, if people are going to understand it. You have a lot of loudmouths who are trying to get the attention of everybody, and they're not doing a very good job. But the fact that people are really looking at this, the fact that I want to see a unified Republican Party. That's why Marjorie Taylor Greene working with Kevin McCarthy is absolutely, positively, is so important, so critical. Why? Because there is no unity on the part of the Republican Party. None. There's no unity. That's where the Democrats have you and us, and I'm going to say that, beat. They are terrific. You understand this? Now, understand something, too. It is not a matter of you merely articulating new forms of complaint. Winning the election is not you defining a new means, a new avenue, a new way of complaining and articulating your complaint, your beef, your bitch, your anger. That doesn't mean anything. We know that. It doesn't mean anything. Nobody has ever suggested that, I don't think we really know what's going on here. I don't think we really understand the problems that this country faces. Oh, yes, we do. But people are just they're just content with just sitting back and just complaining. That doesn't mean anything. That goes into to an empty well. The thing which is important is every time you complain, every time you quote, and by the way, if you are not actively a part of any positive social media movement, you are wasting your time. You might as well just retire. If your idea of participation is just sitting back and complaining, what are you doing? For the first time, you have been given this incredibly marvelous, wonderful thing called social media. And I don't want to hear about, well, I don't really like Twitter. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. This is the chance for the first time for you to speak theoretically to the world. And there are people who don't do it. I can understand Instagram. I can maybe understand Facebook. But despite what you're saying about Twitter, it's the most important platform there is for many people, Americans, to get off their fat ass and say something and do something and cobble together and put together a thought, something, anything. Complain to the world then. Become a part of this algorithm. And when I see people, well, I don't do that. Because Americans still are lazy. They are incurious. They're great complainers. They love to complain. Participatory? Never. Never. They barely vote. If you're not on Twitter, if you're not saying something, if you're not part of this movement, this is your voting. This is a chance for you to actually say something that we never had growing up. My generation never did. What do you do? Do a letter to the editor? Maybe. I've got a friend of mine who actually sends a letter to the editor, to the Tampa Bay Times. You might as well take it, write it on a napkin, and throw it away. Nobody cares. First of all, somebody else is editing it, and nobody reads that. This is a chance for you to be actively participatory. Actively. I don't know what it takes. I don't understand. I don't know what it is. You're being given the chance to walk into a world where the entire world is speaking. It's like you going up to a microphone. Now, granted, your numbers may not be, but don't worry about that. That's what they always want to hold you down with metrics. But you're part of you're part of a movement. You're part of an algorithm. How people don't do this, I have no idea. All I do through my private channel, through Twitter, through YouTube, through everything else, is to try to tell the world, this is what I think. This is what I'm thinking. And I have to do a private channel because there are some subjects you just don't talk about. We just don't. We're just not anywhere near. And I'm very, very worried that people that I know and like are being set up because one day they're going to clobber you. Censorship is still there. Let me give you 2 examples. Over the weekend, I wrote the following. And when I meet people who have never heard of Victoria Nuland, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Cannot. There's a picture of her with that snarl. And I said, this is your Minister of War. This is the architect of geopolitical destruction. This is the engineer of international conflagration. She goads and taunts Russia. She stays up late at night thinking of new ways to spread and proliferate perpetual war. Who is she? That's all I did. I just said who it was. I received this letter from Twitter. Twitter is required by German law to provide notice to users who are reported by people from Germany via the National Enforcement Act reporting flow. We have received a complaint for the following content from your account at Lionel Media. Tweet has a comment. We have investigated the report and have found that it is not subject to removal under the Twitter rules or German law. And I wrote, very frankly, it's very simple. German law? German. I'm talking about German law. I wrote, thank you, Elon Musk. Thank you for the ability to speak the truth unimpeded, unruffled, unfettered, and uninterrupted. As for German law, let me remind you of a little history. And then here's a piece this is from The Guardian, which most people don't know. This is from 2014. This is the classic. F the EU. This is Victoria Nuland's phone call. Remember that? F the EU. This is what's going on right now. Yet the number of people who still know nothing. Who's her husband? Kagan. The Kagans and Nulands, the Institute for the Study of War, all of that. Remember that guy, General, what's his name? He's always been on Maria Bartiromo. Oh, there isn't a war he doesn't love. Why? He's with the Institute for the Study of War. Jack Keane, yes. Now, if you don't know the participants in this is so critical. And the number of people that I know still who say, I don't know. And they're still into this thing about Putin's a bad guy and this one's a guy. I mean, it's so the only person who can educate you is you. The only person who can motivate you is you. The only person who can get you involved in this is you. Not to sit back and not complain and not talk about, Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney. I mean, that's interesting to a point. That's also critical. Next, over the weekend I was on the great George Galloway show, the mother of all talk shows. And if you go to my Twitter, you'll be able to see it. And it was wonderful. And it was a cry for attention because artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence both pose existential threats to humanity, period. I don't care what anybody says. The amount of disinterest on the part of everybody astounds me. I've never seen anything like it. This week there was a story about Oppenheimer that opens, and they want desperately for this to work because studios are collapsing. Okay? And the very fact that you've got Matt Damon as Leslie Groves says it all. Come on. In any event. Never since Andy Garcia played Sonny Corleone's son. Remember that? Andy Garcia, a Cuban. Okay, which is fine, but no. Sorry. Everybody's into this thing about the bomb, and the bomb, and the bomb, and the bomb. So I said, well, let me explain to you. What if I have a new nuclear bomb, a new atomic bomb, that can make new bombs? It can learn how to make, it can write its own code. And this bomb has a thought. This bomb has awareness. This bomb is thinking. This bomb has a 300 IQ. This bomb immediately writes its own code, pushes you out of the equation. You can't stop it. And immediately makes more of these. And connects with other bombs to make other bombs to make other bombs. There's no known correlation. But yet, nobody at any level Not your boy Charlie Kirk, not Tucker, not even, I don't even think Kennedy is doing it. Nobody's talking about this thing called AI and AGI. Period. Period. Pat the Plumber says something about the Galloway brings out the best in Lionel. Always a great experience. Thank you. Thank you for that, Pat. Thank you for that. And by the way, that's for you. I think George Galloway, I will tell you this, it's a European perspective. It's much smarter than a lot of stuff that we see here. Because when you're in a world where you are brutally aware of your interdependence on other countries, see, we're not. In America, by virtue of the fact that we're just by ourselves, we don't care about anybody. Nothing. We think, well, we don't need them. Oh, yeah, we do. So thank you for that. He's wonderful. And it's not, and the information is there. Here's the thing, too, which I don't understand. This is the part. This is me. All my life, I've been curious. I've told you this. Mrs. L and I, we found this out independently. I used to spend hours just going through the encyclopedia, just in love with information for the sake of information. I may not use it. I mean, new words, new ideas, new stories. YouTube is wondering. I'm listening to a wonderful lecture before on exoplanets. I don't know enough about that. How can you live in a world and not want to know everything in the world? It's free. You don't have to go to college for this. You don't have to go to a school. But if you don't have curiosity, it's a waste of time. So there are people I know who still they don't have a globe in their home. They don't have a map. There is something that is so insanely, something so insanely sad. Now, let me tell you something else which is very important. This is very critical. I meet people a lot of times like you who are friends, I used to call them, well, I guess you would call them, they're kind of like a new brand of, they went to the Alex Jones school of the old Alex Jones without Alex Jones's curiosity. I don't know about Alex Jones now, but 20 years ago, it was the best show because there was so much information, so much data, so much news. It wasn't just, I'm just saying these things. Okay. For reasons I do not know, and I do not understand, I do not guess or grasp, there's a lot of instances of people just dying. We had a very interesting meteorologist here at our local Channel 2, our CBS affiliate. Her name is Elise Finch. And she died suddenly. She was 51 years old and just, I thought, exuded so much natural charm and friendliness on TV. She was, and I know a little bit about this. Some people just really come across. There's one thing that you will see or not see. NOTSEE. Let me get that algorithm voice recognition thing correct. There's one thing you will not see. People who are worried about how they look and sound. You'd be surprised the number of people who never even, this is interesting, who never even look at the camera whenever they do any kind of streaming or whatever. They have no interest. Sometimes, and I love the people who are in their bedroom, which is nice, for their bed. This one guy, he's got a channel, he's got 4 million. He's big. He's got his bed. Okay, fine. I'm not. So they don't care at all about whether you're, how you look, whether you come across as nice or benevolent. Elise Finch had one of these things. She's so nice. She was so engaging. Anyway, she died suddenly. Now, I don't know why. Nobody does. Nobody's ever said anything about this. We don't know anything about it. How do I know? But because there is a veritable bevy, an endless list of people who are dying suddenly, mysteriously, people are immediately saying, aha, and they're making either vaccines or immunology or some kind of a connection. And they're just reinforcing this without any understanding. And if you ask them a question, how often were you aware of how many people died? What is the average number of people to die during the day? Every day for any given year? I don't know. What about countries? I don't know. What about demographics? I don't know. What is and isn't normal? What's a high number? I don't know. I don't know. But you say, here's an athlete who died. Do you know how long weightlifters have been, not weightlifters, bodybuilders have been dying? People say, it's because of steroids. I don't know. Could be. Might be something else. I don't know. Do you see how people, we need to stop right there. Whether it's medicine, whether it's vaccinology, whether it's immunology, whether it's political, whether it's whatever it is. You've got to ask yourself this question. Cause, effect, and correlation. I promise you, there are people immediately who say, I know this. I cannot believe the experts, all of a sudden, who when they have never been to junior college. Not that that means anything. They've never had a chemistry class. They've never done anything even remotely involved in mortality, death, statistics, cause, effect, correlation, coincidence, nothing. But all of a sudden, they found a flock. See, what we do is we look for flocks, murmurations, these wonderful birds, and we say, ooh, I like that one. Who are those people? Those are conservative. Ooh, I'll go there. You might say, I don't like that flock. I like this one over here. These are Christian conservatives. They believe that this is all eschatological. This is the end of times. I go there. You might say, you know what? I'm more liberal, leftist. I like this scrum. These people believe that somehow climate change is responsible for everything, and you go over there. So you join this scrum where everybody is like-minded. Everybody reinforces everybody else, and there's no critical thinking. You just pick where you want to go. I see it all the time. I promise you, you don't know this particular woman's name, but there are people who are going to say, aha, I know what that's about. The way people make correlations as to climate change is incredible. It's just incredible. They don't even know how to define it. Let me tell you a story. If I don't explain to you the notion of why you have to, and please, you must like these. I need 300 likes. I need 300 likes. It is critical to get our word out. That's just a fact. In any event, there are people who just have no interest at all in, and this is on all spectrum. And the thing that is the most important, number one, forget everything about vaccines or medicine or sex change or whatever. Yeah, that's important, but number one is politics. I'm going to say this until I can say it no more. Americans know nothing about politics. They look at elections and I don't even think elections mean anything. I don't think they make the connection that, people have to show up and they vote. And believe it or not, there are more votes that are actually counted than you could ever imagine. There are more votes that are counted. But it's not popular today to say that. You must say, no, they're not. It's all ripped off and it's all. I can understand why. But there are people who, believe it or not, actually, truly, their votes count. And let me go back to what I'm saying. All of those people, with your friend Charlie Kirk, or with Megyn Kelly, or with whoever your favorites are, whoever your boyfriends and girlfriends are, the ones that you love and you hang on to their words, whether it's Jordan Peterson or Ben this one or that, because I don't know about the left, but on more conservative factions, they're groupies, they're fanboys, they just love. They hang on every word as though these people are blessed with some, I don't know what it is. In any event, let me say the following. If you don't know about elections, you're wasting your time. If you don't know about elections, you are wasting your time. And I mean that. And I can't say it any other way than this. You're wasting your time. And I want to win in 2024. And it might be through Trump, it might be through this one, I don't know. But nobody is talking about, now here's what we need to do. We've got to register voters. We got to have poll watchers. We have to have lawyers. No. They go out there and they just talk about stuff. And it's nice. And I don't see why everybody's going crazy to hear your friend Tucker Carlson, bless his heart, again, he's doing some great stuff, remind us of George Floyd. We know that. We understand that. I got it. What are we going to do when the Democrats say, watch this? Watch what we do. You want to see something? You want to see us work? Watch what we do. Because they stole the election legally. They did it. They did ballot stuffing and ballot this and ballot harvesting and ballot. They know exactly how to do it. So that's that. So to recap, great news. There is a momentum that is here. Number 2, if you are not on social media, if you are not wasting your time, if you are solely giving us your brilliance only here and not sharing it with the rest, not going out, taking people on, you can sit with a Twitter account. You can actually see somebody. You can say, hey, there's Greta Thunberg. I'm going to say something, whether it matters or not. That would do more than anything, I hate to say it, than you could do by merely echoing or reverberating or recapitulating what somebody else has said in a more conservative platform. How you're keeping from this, I have no idea. Next, understand the difference between correlation and cause. I can't say that enough. I've been saying that forever. When people are talking, linking, songs to drug use and drug use to just whatever. We need critical thinking. We need something so basic when it comes to critical thinking. And also, my friends, I want to say there is room for good stuff. There is. We have the chance to do this. But here's the bottom line. If it doesn't convert to the polls, we're wasting our time. We're just talking about it. John McGuire couldn't get hired says, I highly suggest that people sign up to be an election judge. They need people. You get paid. And, well, you can keep an eye on shenanigans. I do it at my station to make $200 for the day. John, thank you. Do that. Do that. And also, in addition to that, we need people who are involved in watching afterwards, lawyers. By the way, did you know that in most jurisdictions, most states, they have laws against taking pictures of your ballot? Did you know that? Not always, but some people say, here's my ballot, I voted. Don't necessarily post that. Remember, check the rules. You don't want those invalidated. There's a lot of rules there that people could take a part of and involve themselves with. That simple. And there's a lot of good reasons, my friends. A lot of good things. If you driving people to the polls, some people might say, well, okay, but all I know is you can do something. You can call up your local Republican Party. I'm sorry, I'm not a Republican. I'm telling you. If Zoroastrians were the chance, I'm going to be a Zoroastrian or a Bull Mooser. I don't care. The Democrats have to be removed from office. It's that simple. There's just no, I don't even have to explain to you that. Let them, you know what, you work some stuff, if you want to change a Bud Light, that's I can't help that. But what you're doing to school boards, schools, children, the police, jails, squatting, they are turning cities into sewers. It's the total destruction. You're going to see Sunday travel canceled. You're going to have congestion pricing in your home. You're going to have central bank digital currency. All of this is coming. All of this is coming. I'm telling you. And you don't, it doesn't sting yet. It doesn't. We are losing sovereignty. This is, your country is calling you. And the best part, Democrats, people that you know, people, friends of yours, they're sitting back doing nothing. I don't know if they even understand. I don't think they even, I swear to God. I was talking to a friend of mine who was a prominent lawyer, smart as a whip, who's been a Democrat. And I'm saying, you do realize this is not Democrat. You had no idea. So that's that. That's that, dear friends. Now, a couple of things here. Let me remind you, this is Mrs. L's YouTube. Please, I ask you, immediately go now and sign up for her incredibly important and critical videos, because nobody is talking about protecting children like she does. Nobody. John McGuire also says, driving to the polls work. As a judge, I see groups being offloaded on chartered buses, usually seniors who get a field trip to the local buffet after. Excellent. Excellent. That would be wonderful to actually, I'm thinking some people may have a problem with putting somebody in your car and liability, but that is wonderful. Seniors are the most important. They vote always. From a different generation, a different time. Absolutely. Whatever it takes. Because if we don't win at the election, this is a waste of time. All right, dear friends, thank you so very much. You have a great and a glorious and a noble day. We will see you tonight at 7 p.m. Don't forget to like this. I need more likes. I need 300 likes. Likes are critical. Always make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. And also right now, especially as people are scared out of their minds regarding protecting their retirement and their savings, our good friend at Noble Gold Investments, there is the link for you. They are doing a wonderful job. The best people you will ever meet in your life. There's the link. Follow accordingly. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. We will see you later today, 7 p.m. Also got many, many more vehicles coming. Check out my Twitter and look at that wonderful interview I did with Mr. George Galloway yesterday. It was wonderful about the horrors and the perils of artificial general intelligence in particular. Until then, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dead.